Woodstock, 1969. The summer of my 17th birthday. Nancy and I talked about going to Woodstock. She said it probably wouldn't be a problem getting there. Her mother would drive us. And the basic reason I wanted to go to Woodstock, I wanted to see the Jeff Beck group. Even though I'd seen him about 6, 7, 8 times, I hadn't seen them enough. I loved the Jeff Beck group so much. They were my favorite band at the time, and also 10 years after. So, even though I had seen both bands a lot of times, I wanted to see them again. And I thought this was a bargain. You could see Jeff Beck group 10 years after. Plus you could see Hendrix and The Who. Not to mention Janis Joplin and Jefferson Airplane. It seemed like a bargain to me, basically. And I had a chance to be alone with Nancy, kind of unsupervised. That was an exciting element to that exciting element to the mix. And it wasn't, for me, it wasn't any about any cultural happening or aquarium generation. That was just a lot of hype. I had been to big concerts, That summer I had seen Blind Faith. I didn't really like big concerts that much in, these uncontrollable situations. I was spoiled by going to the Fillmore East for more than a year. Like a year and a half. Totally spoiled. And clubs like The Scene. I think even Ungano's was starting to put on acts. And Cafe A Go-Go and places like that. So we got a ticket for, I believe, one night, the night that the Jeff Beck group was going to be there. I think The Who was on it. And 10 years after, the same night. I didn't think we were going to stay for Hendrix. Because by that time I wasn't into his new band and so forth. I didn't like these groups getting too popular, actually. Changing band and all that. I liked who I liked, and that was 10 years after the Jeff Beck group with Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood. So I think we got stuck in traffic and we had to get out about a mile from the festival. We got there pretty early, so it was only a mile. We walked a mile. We left Nancy's mother. She somehow turned the car around and got the heck out of there. And then when we finally got in to near where the festival was, it started raining and we were kind of drenched. And so we we decided to avoid the festival area and hike into the woods somewhere, and we set up a tent. And we got out of the rain, finally. It took a while in the dark with flashlights. We did it. And then we were exhausted. We just fell asleep. So the next day was entirely the opposite. It was boiling hot in the sun. And we headed to the festival. Seemed like it was about a half a mile or so walk from our campsite, which was pretty private. It was in the woods. Not a lot of people around. And some drunken idiot grabbed my girlfriend, touched her while we were walking along, and he thought it was him and his friends, teenage kids, thought it was really funny. And they were like, "What you gonna do about it?" So this was just an awful mob of people. And then I tried to go to the toilet. There was lines around the corner, lines everywhere for everything, food, water, going to the toilet. I don't know. So I just kind of left Nancy. I asked Nancy, "You want to come to the front? I'm going to try to get to the front, take some pictures of whichever bands are playing." So she struggled along with me, and she said, I'm just going to stay here against the fence for a while. I'll be able to see you, you'll be able to see me. So I did photograph Country Joe McDonald, I photographed the incredible string band, but the heat was so intensely unbearable, and the field had turned into just an awful smelling. It was like a cow pasture, and it smelled like cow muck. It was just kind of dreadful. So I went back, I got Nancy. I said, let's just go back to the tent, forget about this place. This is a drag. And that's basically what we did. We spent the rest of the weekend camping out. We had a lot of fun. We avoided all the negative aspects of Woodstock, and couldn't wait till the movie came out. Now, the movie didn't come out for a whole year. But luckily, in November, we got invited to a Bill Graham Thanksgiving party, and it was also the night the Stones were playing at the Garden, so we had to leave a little early. But during that Thanksgiving dinner party at the Fillmore East private party, we were treated to a screening of the movie Woodstock. And we were excited about that. We wanted to see some bands and so forth. So they started playing the film. It was actual film camera. This was a movie theater, and it was just beautiful. You know, the crowds and so forth. And then the psychedelic effect came on. It was like a Fillmore East light show on the screen. I thought, wow, that's cool. But it turned out that was the film, the actual celluloid film, burning in the projector. It got stuck, and the heat of the projection lamp melted the film. So that was the first chance I got to see any kind of special effects in the movie Woodstock. And the movie Woodstock, as you know, when it did come out in the summer of 1970, the star of the movie seemed to be Alvin Lee 10 years after, with that boom, boom, many, many screens of his face on stage. It was actually an effect that was stolen from, or borrowed from the movie The Thomas Crown Affair, which came out either in late 67 or early 68, that I'm sure Michael Wadley was heavily influenced by. And that's all I really have to say about Woodstock, except I did keep the ticket. So I have a Woodstock ticket in my drawer that is in mint condition. That, I mean, I've seen all kinds of prices offered for it, but I'm never going to let that go.